preparing live stream, the host has started broadcasting the meeting on YouTube. Go live. Did button. You are currently on a button inside of web content. To click this button, press Control Option Space. To exit this web area, press Control Option Shift up arrow.
Just want to make sure
YouTube web content.
the mute
You are currently in the group.
setting. Okay, it looks like the settings stayed. Yay, I love it when settings stick. Okay, I'm not even gonna record the podcast because I'm already behind on. So welcome to Saradivinelyyou on YouTube, because that's where this is at right now. I'm still buzzing and I don't even want to talk about that until tomorrow. I want to do something really quickly because I want to talk about like your creativity, because creativity is one of the reasons that I created Divinelyyou in the first place, is that as part of my own journey, healing journey, and like what do I want to say? Like I want to say more than just being a part of my journey, but part of like the process of me healing was honoring or like tapping back into my creativity. And so I kind of want to start off by asking you, who told you that you were not creative, or that your art was bad, or who told you that your picture wasn't the best, or wasn't beautiful, or wasn't creative? Where did that stem from for you? I had lots of people tell me when I was a kid that I colored outside the lines, or I colored too dark, or I like my, you had those project kits at like school or camp or whatever. And like my project kit never turned out like everyone else's. And I think that when I was younger, it was definitely like, well, I couldn't see it, or I overcompensated or whatever. I've now come to just acknowledge that that's just me, and that I don't do things like everybody else does things. So why should I do a project kit like everybody else does a project kit? But I really want to invite you to think about like, who told you your creativity was wrong? Like, who told you you weren't creative? Who told you you were not artistic? As I light some Palo Santo, which is this generates, the smoke from this is going to generate creativity. But I really would love for you to just be in this moment of like, there we go. Be in this moment of like, you're uniquely creative. It's part of your purpose and your gift here on earth is to be creative and to share that creativity with the rest of us. And there's no right or wrong. I'm not talking about like the art industry and all of that. I'm talking about when you're at home by yourself. I'll even go back to using my dance example because I don't dance. I don't have any rhythm. I don't have anything. But I also acknowledge that dance moves energy through my body. It moves it out of my system. And whether that's aggressively or passionately and like fluidly, dancing moves energy through me. So, or if I draw, I don't always color within the lines. My drawings are not perfect, but I still draw, or I color. I actually have adult coloring books and I love them. And I actually send the pictures to friends and they love them. So I crochet. My crochet is beautiful. Y'all have seen it. If not, go watch more videos in this playlist and you will see I crochet beautiful things. So part of why I created Divinely You was to empower all of us, whoever chooses to be a part of this journey that I'm creating or that I'm building or whatever, to embrace our creativity, our artistic persona. There we go. Whatever. Because releasing or allowing the creative flow opens chakras, right? This is where like all of everything that I offer, coaching, Reiki, energetic, whatever, right? It all gets to come together in creativity, in art, and in whatever that looks like for you, right? And I debunk anyone who says that they're not creative or they're not artistic, because we each are in our way, in our own way, and whatever that looks like. Maybe your medium is paint, maybe it's, woodworking, metalworking, leatherworking. There's so many creative outlets, and it doesn't have to be any of those. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's dance and movement is your creative outlet, right? Maybe it's music. And so I just want to invite you to take some time to journal today and think about, what do you tell yourself? What has you tell yourself you're not creative? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Because for years I thought, I can't draw. I like it, but I can't draw. Like, I'm bad at it, or I can't do this because I'm bad at it. But I'm not bad at any of it, not great at any of it either, but I don't care. I don't need to be great at it to be creative and to use it as a way of sourcing myself, right? I wonder if I can, hope I gave myself enough microphone slack. So I actually keep I keep a sketch pad on hand and color pencils. That's my medium for coloring anyway. But mostly I do a lot of abstract. No meaning, no purpose other than I get to color and I get to see something come on the paper. So, but I'm telling you, for years, I was told that I wasn't artistic or that I wasn't creative or that my art was bad. My art's not bad. Your art is not bad. Your art is what you make it. I'm going to show you this. Does it matter if you color the things incorrectly? Not particularly. Sometimes I color things incorrectly because I thought it was an orange and it was an apple or something like that. So there's those things. But does it matter? Because what's the point of being creative anyway? It's an outlet. Like, if you go to a workshop and there's a creative feature in the workshop and you're like, well, I only have this tool or that tool. Does it matter? You still have tools. Everything that can be used to create something is a tool for art, for creativity. So even my voice is a tool for creativity. I won't sing, I'll spare you. But I do sing privately as a way of expression, as a way of emotional release, as a way of letting go of shit. I scream, I shout, I listen to I used to call it growling music. I used to listen to growling music and growl and get out my anger. So, but it's the same thing as like exercise, right? I've talked about exercise and the different modalities of exercise and how they kind of release a different emotion, right? If you go do kickboxing, it's obviously going to be a bit more aggressive than yoga, right? You're not going to be aggressive with yoga, especially if it's like restorative yoga, which is extremely gentle, right? But there is a time and a space for gentle yoga. There's a time and a space for martial arts, judo, jiu-jitsu, those sorts of things. There's a time and a space for, endurance work, right? There's a time and a space for weightlifting. There's a time and a space for all of it. That's why it all is available to us, right? Our body is available to move in those ways. And nobody said you ever had to be perfect. You don't have to be the yoga instructor to do yoga. You don't have to be the art teacher to draw in class or draw on your own, right? You don't have to be an expert crocheter or yarn crafter to do yarn crafting. I know plenty of people who've been yarn crafting for years and they still can't make a proper granny square. That's okay. It's the process and the socialization of being with other people or having a community to support you or to just be there for you or to create with or to admire each other's work or whatever. There's no perfection about it. That's the bullshit story that you're trying to tell yourself for why you can't be creative. But the reality is that we are all creative. We all have some sort of way that we create. I have lots of them. Like as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, damn. Like I crochet a lot, I color a lot, but also cook, I bake. I like to do all kinds of things, mess with my crystals, mess with my oils. That's creative. Messing with my oils, finding a different recipe or a different blend that works for something. Oh, that's new. I like that one. Okay, that's fun. Right? There's so many ways to be creative. When I was at camp a couple of years ago, I was a counselor at camp and we had a woodworking session and there were several of us that sat for, I don't know how long, it felt like eternity, but we all just sat there because we were all working on our little wood pieces. And it was like, damn, there was something about it. Like like I said, there was like 3 or 4 of us that were sitting outside working on our little wood pieces. And there was something so meditative about it that like we were all just in a moment together and it was really peaceful and really powerful. So there's always like community, camaraderie, other, all of that associated with it. Right. In that case, in that way that we can all be thankful that we now have like Facebook groups or whatever to like come to those groups and be like, hey, I'm having trouble with this project or that project, right? It's a whole new level of community to support us in the process, right? It's funny how I go to YouTube now to learn a new crochet stitch because I actually learned to crochet before there was really YouTube. So, self-taught. I self-taught myself to crochet. I was in graduate school and I wanted something to do besides graduate school. And my mom was a knitter. So I tried knitting and I still don't like knitting. But my mom's a mad woman at knitting. She's so amazing. But I found crochet and that was the end of that. I became a happy hooker. But it took years to actually be consistent at it. So anyway, I just want to invite you to go maybe take some time in your journal today or just take some quiet time, maybe take a walk outside. That's what I'm about to do, is hit some outside time and just really like open yourself up to where can you explore being creative without judging yourself for the imperfections of it? I did the Artist Way 12-week program challenge, whatever the hell it's called. I did it a few years ago. But one of the things in the Artist Way, if you're not familiar with it, Julia Cameron is the author of that. But one of the tasks in that process is the morning pages. You've probably heard of that or something similar to it. And basically, you sit in front of your page, in front of paper, every morning during the process and write. And it's like unconscious writing. So you're sort of just streaming whatever words come out. And there were days when I had plenty to say because, I always have plenty to say. But there were also days when I was literally writing out how to pronounce letters because I had no clue what to write. And so I would even say, like, I don't know what to write today. So I'm just going to write whatever words stream out of my brain. And I think that's an awesome way to tackle journaling is like, there's no right or wrong, right? There are some days when my journaling is still, I don't know what to say, but I'm feeling like I need to be sitting here working on my journal or writing in my journal, but I don't know what I'm supposed to say or talk about or write about or whatever. So anyway, so that's what I have for you today is just tapping into your creativity, acknowledging that you're a creative person, that you're a creative being, that it is an outlet, that it is a source for you, that it's available for you. And that whatever it is, there's everything is right about it. And it's okay, however, the result. Because to be honest with you, 90% of it is not about the result. Perfect example. I showed you guys a project last week, and that project got ripped apart 3 times. And now it's a ball of yarn back in a bag. Ready for a different project because I was really having trouble with that project. So, but the process, right? The process is what it is. It's like I tried a new concept, I tried a new stitch pattern. It did not resonate with me. And I ripped it apart, put it back together. I ripped it apart again. And I said, fuck it. I'm going to go back to a different project and I'll come back to that particular. I love the yarn, but I hated the project I chose for it. So anyway, I hope this resonated. If it did, I would love for you to reach out and chat with me about what came up for you and maybe like anything you're feeling. Like maybe I dug up some feelings around like, oh, my mom told me I was bad, or my dad said this, or my grandma thought I was horrible at working with food, or, I couldn't learn to cook like my grandma cooked, so I must be a terrible cook. Nope. Doesn't mean you're a terrible anything. I know how to cook like my grandma cooked, but I don't cook like my grandma cooked. Now I cook super simple stuff. Sometimes I cook extravagantly, but very rarely anymore, mostly because I have priorities. So anyway, what did this bring up for you? What were your thoughts? What resonated? What was like, oh, fuck, she's kind of right. Or, oh man, she's so stupid. I doubt that that's what anybody thought, but you never know. Ain't gonna hurt me either way. Anyway, I hope you found this to be helpful. I thank you so much for tuning in and subscribing and all of that. I am going to announce something tomorrow that I'm still super buzzing about. And I've probably had some heart palpitations in the last 24 hours. I've definitely had some outbursts of tears and whatnot for what I have just enrolled myself in. So all good, all beautiful. I'm pretty sure I just like moved something out of the way of my next level up. And I have, anyway, I could get lost down a rabbit hole of that. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in, subscribing, and all of the things, liking the videos, sharing the videos. I appreciate it. I think I know where my podcast is going to go. I kind of got a hit last night where I think I know where it's going, and we'll just have to see what opens up in the next couple of weeks for that. But I love doing this, and I thank the person who suggested that I stream directly to YouTube because it's kind of been a lifesaver. So that person's awesome. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Love you.